Houska. Welcome back to my channel. Remember when we used to do mashups on my live streams? Well, I'm not going to be live streaming as much anymore, and I thought I would just do a mashup for a video today because I have a couple stories I want to talk about, and I just don't have enough material for each video to go 10 minutes. So let's go into it. But before we get started, do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel down here. And if you like this kind of content and you want to know when it's uploaded or going live, make sure you turn those notifications on. And as always, leave me some comments to let me know your thoughts. All right, you guys, so the first story we're going to talk about is Britney Spears, because we know that Britney has been sort of trying to regain some control of her life. There has been a lot of talk online about the Free Britney movement because she has been unhappy with her conservatorship and her conservator, specifically her father. So Britney Spears has been in this conservatorship since around 2008. This was put into place because of a very public breakdown that she had following the divorce from her husband, Kevin Federline. There was a lot of different things that transpired, including she shaved her head, and she also had a standoff with police where she refused to hand over her children, which ultimately had her put into a facility for an evaluation. So she's been in this since 2008. Her dad has been taking care of all of her finances and of her estate. He has been credited for getting her to, have different working opportunities. She's released, I think, 4 different albums, but she doesn't want her dad at all on her conservatorship. And her attorney, Samuel Ingham, actually argued in court that he said, "My client has informed me that she's afraid of her father. She also stated that she will not perform as long as her father is in charge of her career. We are really at a crossroads." Now, Jamie Spears' attorney claimed that her attorney, Samuel Ingham, was not allowing Britney to have conversations with her and thus was preventing them from coming to any sort of resolution. Well, the judge in the case decided not to actually suspend his role in the conservatorship and said that the issue could be discussed again maybe down the road. So even though there was all of these claims, she was upset about him removing her management company abruptly quits. There was some discussion about a deal with the management needing to be restructured because she wasn't working as much and potentially him spending too much for the management company. Then there was also some discussion about how he replaced the management company with a new one without talking to her. And at the end of the day, she just doesn't want to deal with her dad. And apparently her mom is really sad about all of this because she thinks that Britney deserves sort of a fresh start, that Jamie really does need to let go at some point. So apparently Jamie's managing everything fine. I don't know. There's so many questions because at one point Jamie's attorneys had sort of argued that Britney doesn't have the capacity to truly make legal decisions. And unfortunately, the judge said, no, for now, you can apply for this again down the line. So it makes me wonder, is there really something going on there mentally where she doesn't have that capability to make these arguments? I don't know. Sadly, she is not going to get her wish to be freed of her father. But what I wonder is, why does her father keep fighting so hard? If he knows that she's not happy with him as the conservator, why doesn't he just step down and just allow her to find somebody else that's a neutral third party? It would free his life up of so much less stress. He wouldn't have to deal with so many issues, and he would really just be letting go. Is it the money he doesn't want to have to let go of? It just seems a little suspect to me that if your daughter is begging you, "Dad, I want someone else to manage this," and you're like, "Nope, it's cool, I'm going to still do it." But I don't know. We also don't know all the details, so it could be far more complicated than this. So I don't know what your thoughts are, but Britney is not going to be freed from her father. All right. Next up, last night was the first episode of Welcome to Plathville. On this episode, we saw a lot of stuff. And rather than doing a huge recap, I wanted to just touch on a couple things that happened in this. In the first episode, Ethan and Olivia literally admitted that they were almost getting a divorce. At some point in the last year, they really heavily debated getting a divorce. They had been on the verge of a separation. They had been talking about divorce. And ultimately, Ethan admits that it was because of his family. It was because his family basically told him that they would never accept Olivia. And as long as Olivia was in his life, they would not things wouldn't be cool. And I guess Ethan wasn't sticking up for Olivia, and that put a huge stress on the family. And so he regrets not firmly standing up for her, but he also admitted that in order to save the marriage, he literally had to cut off his parents because he needed more space. But it also seems as though Kim and Barry are so toxic that cutting off the family wasn't a bad thing. But they're still not in the best place, it sounds like. They still have a way to go. And it seemed like there was still some tension there. Now, over to Micah and Moriah. They're out on their own now. They have their own home. They all live very close to each other. So Kim and Barry moved off the farm. Moriah and Micah are in a house and they are renting one together. And then Ethan and Olivia own their home, all within like less than a mile of each other. So all the houses are very close together, and Micah and Moriah actually confronted their parents in this episode. And this is what I found to be the most compelling. During the episode, Micah sat down his parents and he asked them why they didn't prepare them. So he basically tells them that he admits on camera they don't have high school diplomas and they can't do anything they want in terms of like careers because they'd have to get their GEDs. And both of them say they feel like they've been failed because they say their parents put little to no effort into their education, with Kim admitting that she didn't spend as much time as she probably should have teaching her kids and rather just put Micah to work and let Micah work, and didn't really push Moriah, but then said, well, you scored really well for the 12th grade test with the state, but they say that the education was such a low priority for them. They're so far behind and so ill prepared for the world that they resent their parents. Moriah said that she had wanted to go to community college, but she simply can't because she's so far behind. She has so much catching up to do with her education that she will have to spend a ton of time in order to get her GED. And they feel like they are trying to like catch up with life because their parents held them back. And all Kim and Barry seemingly were doing while this was talking was going, sorry, guess I'm sorry. I mean, can you forgive us? And Kim's like, well, I'm more worried about you falling prey to the evils of this world. So Kim and Barry are not your typical homeschool parents. And I don't think it's fair to say that every parent that homeschools are like them. This is like what happens when homeschooling goes wrong, when you put little to no effort at all into the education. And this mirrors what Olivia told me last year when she literally said that Kim spent no time teaching her children and the kids were wholly undereducated. Sad. All right, so we're going to see more this season as the fallout continues between them. But what are your thoughts about the kids they don't even have high school diplomas? Like how does that make you feel? Like how are they supposed to go forward in life when their parents literally never taught them things? Yikes. All right. So, Micah and Moriah are not ready for the world. Now, Chelsea Houska is leaving Teen Mom 2, and she finally made her statement official with this on Instagram. So she said, MTV's Teen Mom 2 has been a big part of my life for almost 11 years. After much thought and discussion with my family and friends, Cole and I have decided that this season will be our last. We are forever thankful to MTV and our crew who are like family to us. We're partying on the best of terms and will stay in touch long after this. We're proud to have been able to share our story, and we're so grateful to the fans who have followed our journey from the beginning. Our next chapter in life will focus on developing a brand and taking things to the next level with new endeavors and expanding family businesses. Please tune into our last moments of the show and continue to follow along on our journey on social media. We are so excited for this next phase of our lives and hope you'll be a part of it in some way. So like I was saying, I thought she was going to probably stick to the branding stuff with the way she had curated her Instagram. So that sounds great. Congratulations on your next steps. I know it's sad to move on. Teen Mom fans are probably hit or miss here. They might not care. Some might care. I don't know. But Chelsea, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for sharing your story with us for 11 years. You have a beautiful family and a beautiful heart. All right, you guys, tell me what your thoughts are about Britney not being free, Moriah and Micah not having an education, and Chelsea leaving Teen Mom 2. Bye, guys.